Hey AP Studio. Since scheduling worked out the way it did this year, I have Digital Photo 1 and 2 at the same time you guys have AP, so it's going to make it a little difficult some days for me to be able to get away or be able to talk to you as a group. So I'm going to try and do this through video. You'll have to forgive me. First off, I absolutely hate doing these videos because I look like an idiot. Anyways, so I'm going to do these videos as a way so that we can keep things moving. You guys aren't waiting on stuff. Also, I can talk a little more succinctly about things so that I'm not there rambling on for half an hour. Video should help me edit that and keep that down. Also, I'm going to put these on YouTube, I think, and you should be able to access them. So if you didn't understand something or you want to hear it again, I don't know why you'd want to listen to this again, but if you want to, you would have access to these things. So if there's something you're not clear about, you can listen to it. What we're going to do today, and you'll see me, I'm sort of going to look, I have notes right under the camera here. We're going to look at the website information that I told you guys about at the end of school last year, just to make sure that you know it's still there. We're going to review the requirements for the concentration section of the syllabus. I'm actually going to show you Meredith's concentration section from her portfolio last year. I'm assuming most of, if not all of you know, all four of our AP students passed last year in studio art. We had 3 3s and a 5. Meredith Schreiner had a 5. So we're going to look at her stuff because I really think it gives us a stepping off point for the concentration, because I know a lot of you are really worried that you don't have a good idea. This is something you're not going to have the right idea this week. It might take you a couple weeks. It might take you a month of working through things, but you're going to be developing work over time. That's the point of concentration. You're not supposed to have the answer right away. And as you're working, things might change. The other thing at the end, I'm going to talk real quick about an online form that I need you to do. That online form is going to collect your email information for me, but it also is going to be your first concentration sketchbook check. Mrs. M handed you a paper calendar that had dates on it. We're going to convert that into a Google Cal here in the coming weeks. I'll show you that it's already on the teacher page. I will link you guys to the teacher page so you have access to those things directly as you log in as students. And that way we'll be able to keep in contact through these videos, through email. You guys stopping in anytime you have a question, you know you can ask Mrs. M questions, you know you can ask me, or hopefully, you know, come over and ask me. Since I have Digital Photo 1 and 2, I may not be able to answer your question that very second, but I will get back to you, I promise. As we get into this quarter a little bit more, and kids are a little more, students are more independent in Digital Photo 1 and 2, I will have time where I can break away and talk to you guys a little bit more. Last thing before I go on with showing you the stuff online and on the computer, I wanted to let you guys know every Monday, most of you know Mr. McClure and I shoot trap, and we shoot out of Shippensburg. I stay at school until 4:15-ish every Monday. So my plan is every Monday I will be available at least for an hour, if not a little longer. Every once in a while it might not work out. That if you want to work on concentration stuff, or if you want to talk to me and you don't want to be rushed, we can set up an appointment on Mondays. Also, if there's other days during the week, things are busy right now, but as the year progresses, we can work on other days of the week if you need studio time. So let's look at some stuff on the computer. This newfangled technology, I'm going to show you stuff while I'm talking to you on my computer. Alright guys, so here we are on my computer. I'm working off of my Mac. If you have a PC, things work fairly similarly. Things that you click on might be in different places. But what I want to do, first off, really encourage you to get Chrome downloaded at home. If you have a laptop or your home computer, download this so that you have Chrome access. What Chrome allows you to do is set up different accounts. I can show you how to do it. I'm not going to take a whole lot of time, but you can see there's my personal Gmail, and then here's my school Gmail. So it allows me to be able to log in and access stuff there. Chrome allows you to access things. It looks very much like a Chromebook. This is what you sort of see when you open up a Chromebook. It's very similar. There's really no difference between running Chrome on a Mac or a PC and having a Chromebook sit in front of you, other than you paid more for your Mac or PC. So anyways, if you want to learn more about that, I can sit down and show you that anytime. When you are in Chrome, you're going to need to log in to see some of these things, so you are going to need to at least go to Gmail and log in your Big Spring Gmail account so that you can see some of this stuff. Otherwise, it's not going to let you see it. So real quick, I just want you to look at my teacher page. I have it set up right now with your AP Studio Art. I will eventually have you guys all put in so that you can see this when you're logged in to eChalk. And some of this stuff you'll be able to access through Google. You won't even have to go into eChalk. So if I click on AP Studio, really nothing's changed except for this art calendar from when I talked to you guys at the beginning of summer. And we'll talk about those. The art calendar, if you click on that, this is actually a Google Cal that I've embedded. You can only see this if you're logged into Chrome through your school Gmail. You'll also, what we'll do is Mrs. M and I will share it with you so you can log into your school Google and that calendar will be shared with you, that you'll see it. You can go into your calendar. And to do that, all you need to do is have logged into Google somewhere. So this isn't exactly how it's going to look. But when you log into Google from any browser, you'll have all of these tabs up here at the top. You just want to click on calendar. And once we've shared it with you, it's going to show up somewhere on the left here. With your calendar, and then that'll actually show you, you'll be able to see due dates. We'll also try and set it up so it will send you an email alert to remind you. So that's one of the things I wanted to show you, so you know it's there. It'll also start bugging you with your school email and stuff, that you have this calendar to look at. It's the same thing as the paper calendar Mrs. M gave you, and eventually, once we get it set up and Mrs. M and I are both more versed in using it, the paper calendar will just be for you to write stuff on and reference, but it'll be online for you. The Studio Art syllabus, that's our Big Spring document, and then the second one here is the AP document. Those two things look like this. This is the Studio Art book from AP. This is like our Bible for the class. This is what they put out. You'll see it's effective fall 2011. They have not updated it as far as I'm aware. The biggest thing you want to look at is a PDF. It's over here on the left in the table of contents. You want to click and look at the 2D design portfolio. All right, this is the section you're doing. You are doing a 2D design portfolio. If we decide that your portfolio is going to fit in better as a drawing portfolio, we may make that choice at the end. But chances are, with the work that you've been doing in drawing and painting, honors drawing and painting, so on and so forth, most of your stuff's going to fit into 2D design. That also opens it up. If you have some design stuff that you want to do, that'll allow you to fit it in there. It also gives you a little bit more leeway in what you choose to do for your concentration media-wise. The syllabus here, we have the goals for the syllabus, what we want to do, the project grades. Let me just scroll down here a little. So you have the goals there, overview of the course. This is basically breaking down the information that big AP document has. It's just shorter. It's only 6 pages instead of the 40-some pages the other one is. We have how your grading's going to work, how each of your projects are broken down. Those are the grade sheets, how Mrs. M has them broken down. They'll be developed for each one, each project. The concentration progress grade, I just want to take a second on this. That grade is going to be based on when you meet with me every 2 weeks. Mrs. M already has it on the calendar for you, on that paper calendar you got. What I'll be doing is I'll be looking for information to provide feedback. It's time for me to see stuff and give you feedback. Also to show that you're actually doing work and you're not blowing this part of the portfolio off. This part of the portfolio, while it's not super labor intensive, if you stay on top of it, if you let it go to the last minute, you're going to end up regretting it a lot. So make sure we're going to use this as a way to progress. Your checks are only going to be through the first semester. After that, then you're on your own, and it'll be an independent, you meeting with me to get stuff together. And trust me, I will find you, hunt you down, and help you get information if you need it. You can read the plagiarism stuff. That's something we had to put in. There is also sort of a rehash of the portfolio sections. Okay. Then we have a course outline here, so you guys can look at that. I'm not going to go over that, but that information's in the syllabus. Make sure you've read over it if you haven't already. Now, what I want to do is take a minute and show you Meredith's concentration section. You guys have been giving me some really good ideas and really nice starting off points for your concentration, but I want to talk you through Meredith's logic. And as I'm talking through this, some pointers. One of the biggest things I'm seeing is a lot of you guys are looking at ideas that are very complex. I think you can actually go with a simpler idea than most of you are thinking. I think you guys are overthinking it, and it's really easy to do, overthink this concentration section. So I'm going to bring these up. Each of these slides is going to play for about 10 seconds. If you want to see them more, I can show you these later. Really, the point is just to sort of talk you through, maybe spark some ideas of where to go with your concentration, not to copy what Meredith is doing. So Meredith's concentration was to deal with portraits, the human figure. She had some self-portraits that she had done already in class that she decided to use for it. She also did a whole series of different media and different facial expressions. The idea she approached me with was simply doing different facial expressions, trying to capture emotion. What wasn't in the original discussion was that she was going to use the media as a way of enhancing those facial features. So as you look at these, really pay attention. What really makes her concentration deep is not the complexity of the idea. These are just self-portraits with people having expressions on their faces. But look at how she uses the medium to really help enhance what she was doing. I don't remember who all of these people are. I do remember this is her brother. This was actually the first painting she did. And you'll notice how she uses those heavy brush strokes to help with this fear look. I don't remember who she said this was, but much calmer. She's sort of using that pointillism. You see she's using different styles with the media, so she's experimenting. The idea here is not to do the same thing over and over again. Here she's using, I think these were watercolor pencils in that portrait. In this portrait she's using pen. It kind of has a wistful look to it. The woman in the picture has that wistful look. The pen adds to that. Really intense stare, so she went with charcoal. Dark darks, light lights. That charcoal choice really added to the intensity. This is her brother. He's a pretty laid back guy. Yeah, she's got some heavy stroke in the oil pastel there, but she kept it fairly calm. This is one of her other brothers. Just a fairly traditional pencil self-portrait, but look at that control. Really dark darks, really light lights. She really explored pencil. Here you have colored pastel. Again, using that softer pastel, it's a child. It gives her that sort of soft glow. Yeah, who knew Mr. McVitie could talk like this about art? Again, sort of a charcoal. She used the textured paper for this one. He's got this ridiculous grin on his face, and she sort of has fun with the mark making. This is a self-portrait. This is probably my favorite one. Mrs. M walked out of the room with this, and I saw it down the hall and wondered why Meredith made a giant poster of herself. This was a painting she actually did as part of her drawing and painting sequence, and it just fit well. She controlled the medium. It had some expressiveness to it. And then here, the interesting way she cropped the painting, so it's this look of surprise, and it's really in your face because she doesn't have a lot of background around it. She used that really light yellow in the background. So that was a real quick look through. I will gladly sit down and talk with you more about these pictures from Meredith if you want, but I don't want this to turn into a 5-hour talk. So that's sort of looking at it. You want to keep your idea simple. you want to make sure that you're not going so deep into your idea that you get lost in what you're trying to do. Couple of the other people on their concentrations, I think some of the things that held them back was that they treated each of their 12 pieces almost identically. So while there was an idea behind it, they ended up doing the exact same style or very similar style for their pieces. Okay, they want to see that you're exploring. So I think one of the keys here is you really need to think about doing multimedia, whether multimedia in one piece or different media across different pieces. You're showing that you're exploring that idea. You want to look at different ways. In Meredith, when you look at that, she used different styles. So you want to make sure you're using those things. And think about that. And we can talk more about it. If you still feel confused, by all means, let's talk. Now, what I want to show you here quick, and we'll put this up. I'll have this written on the board. It should be written on the board. If it isn't, I can give it to you. You need to, at some point on your own, put in down here this concentration form. You need to put that short URL into your Chrome browser. You're going to have to be logged into Chrome, or you're going to have to be at school to do this, so that you're on your Big Spring account. You're going to type that in, and that's going to actually take you to this form. You'll see this form. You're going to give me your name. It's going to collect your email for me. And if we have problems with this, please let me know. Try this before the day it's due. And if we run into problems, I can set you up in the computer. Mrs. M could bring some of you down to the computer lab to work on this if you need to. We'll work on that. You're going to give me your name. What's the basis or the idea? Most of you had already emailed me this. I may have sent some comments back to you. All you need to do is find that email and copy and paste your idea or concept into here. I need you to take some time and think about exploring. How are you going to explore this idea or concept? Is it just going to be through different media studies, or are you going to... some people were talking about, one of the examples that I got in the email was about drug and chemical dependency, and maybe exploring that. That's not a bad idea, but how are you going to explore that? Through media, through subject matter? What kind of research are you going to have to do? Down here then, you can click as many of these as you want. If you're going to do all of them, great, click all of them. I listed most of the media here that I could think of. You can also put others in there. Just put a comma between each of them. Charcoal, pencil, graphite. Are you going to do colored pencil, pastel, oil pastel? You know, any of those. If you're going to do something different, you can actually do photography for your concentration. But I will warn you, it has got to be really good photography. Like, you should have taken photography with me, or you've taken photography on your own. You know, you talk to me, and we'll see about that. You can actually use photography if you don't use it in your concentration. If you take pictures and you have one that you really like, you can submit that under your Brett section as well. We can talk about that later. Lastly, and I think this is going to be a really important question for you guys, what concerns do you have in completing your pieces for concentration? This is the idea I have. I don't think it's any good. I'm not sure if it's going to work. I'm not sure if I have the supplies for it. Any kind of concern that you have. I don't know when I'm going to have the time to do it. You're in an AOP course. You're going to have to find time to do these things. Please, especially any of you who are doing fall sports, especially fall sports, but even spring sports can come back to hurt you. You are going to have to pull double duty because you cannot let this stuff go. You can tell it to send you a copy of your responses. That way you can copy and paste them, and then you hit submit, and that'll automatically kick the information to me. So I need you guys to do that. That is due. You must have filled that form out between now and the due date for your concentration check. Double check that date with Mrs. M on her calendar. She already has the date in there. We'll get it in the Google Cal here coming up. If you guys have questions, I just talked a lot, and I actually just blanked myself out, so you've been looking at my computer screen for like the last 15 minutes. I figured this was a more efficient way than me showing you stuff on the smartboard. So if you have questions, let Mrs. MRI know. If it's a question about concentration, that's a Mr. McVitie question. If it's a question about stuff that you need to do for your Brett section, that's a Mrs. M question. If you need an opinion on does this look good, what kind of work does it need, that's a either one of us question. If one of us doesn't know the answer, we will most definitely ask the other or try and find you an answer. Good luck. I look forward to seeing your response.